Hello everybody, welcome back to rFactor 2 car tutorials. In this one we're going to do the sound, so we're going to make sound work in game. Now if you open your sound file, which you should have taken from rFactor 1, should say SFX, and you can see it's got all the noises that the Ferrari or your car makes. This is slightly old-fashioned, so we need to update it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the example car you've got. I'm going to take the Brabham, obviously, or any really, and you can see it's one where it is, and then the actual sound. You can see here it's a bit more complex. Basically, in the new one, in rFactor 2, it looks for the mass file. So you put all your sounds, all these, into one mass file, and then put it with the car, and then you tell it just the name of that mass file. So if we do this and rename it to sounds, if I do that, there we go. And then what you do is you copy this. Oh no, don't delete. Copy, and then what we're going to do is you're going to go here and you're just going to go paste. And for all those, at least where it says Ferrari or whatever your car name is, I'm just going to paste it over the top. As you can see, it is boringly long to do. If I show you, it goes all the way down here, but it's not all just from one file. Some of it is from the ISI game, as you can see. Oh no, well, your car may have parts from ISI, this one doesn't, but I am going to also use some of the new sounds from the game. If we look here, TMT or TM tires, that's within the rFactor 2 game already. So I'm going to take that for stuff like the road surface and how it sounds when sliding, because it's better than maybe what you have. If it isn't, then keep what you've got, but I'm going to just use it, and you get stuff like suspension chassis noises when it flexes. That's a new feature, so I'm going to add it in, but for the moment, as we can see all the way, the Brabham one, until you get to road surface, changes. So I'm going to just change all these. So you basically just keep doing this and you paste and make sure there's always that there, otherwise it won't work. But it is basically just the mass file it's trying to find. As you can see, just paste it onto everyone and make sure the name here is the same as the mass file, and if you change it, you've got to change all this. So try and stick to one first time. It isn't end of the world. Doesn't have to be similar. As you can see here, it's called DFV for the Brabham, so the mass file is just called DFV, and they're going to stick with it. You can call it whatever you want, and as long as it's matching in the file, it should be fine. Okay. So I finished editing all the bits above, and as you can see here, for the Brabham road surface inside, it's the same here, but you can see it's using rFactor 2 stuff. So what I'm going to simply do, this stuff is already within the game, it's not within the car individually, so you don't need to find it, you literally copy, and I am just going to make sure it's the same. So yep, you can see that. I'm going to go paste, there we go, into the Ferrari one. Skids, I'm going to take the same, none of it is within a special place, so I'm going to take that, and you got inside and outside done. And see, it's done it twice here. Yeah, don't know why they did it twice. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy over it. That's a mistake from the developers before. There we go. So we've done the skids, done the road. We're going to add the suspension chassis, noise, and actually the marbles as well, so that's a nice texture to have. Let's just put it there. There you go, and then the next one should be contact. as you can see here. Don't worry about the numbers, I think I should have said this before, but when you get like that, leave it unless you need to adjust it in game. It should be okay. If it's not, you can easily adjust it, but it is just how loud it is. Most times they get it right. If not, you can adjust it. It's pretty simple. Higher number, louder, lower number, lower. But in general it should work pretty good. It's when you get to like brake hitting noises you need to get rid of it, so or make it lower sometimes. I have noticed that it can be too much, so you have to just lower it till you can get it right in game. When you can hear it but it's not dominating. Is the best way to describe it. Just gonna take all that ambient sound. Yeah, I mean it's newer, so it's a bit better. I go all the way there. I'm getting lost. Oh, right here. Done that, yeah. Let's paste. I like a gap there we go. So next we come on to the sound of the car itself, and actually this is the important bit, because if you don't update the rFactor 1 here, it's going to sound like when the driver goes around the track, if this is left as it is, it's going to just sound like the car's around you all the time. Even when it's on the other side of the track, it's going to sound like it's right behind you. So it's very important you do this, because then the sound changes in direction. So when it's miles away, you really can't hear it unless it's really powerful engine, but you don't really want that. Engine here, yeah, you can leave it as it is. I guess for me it's a bit different, I don't know why, but it must be to do with stuff to start with. That is more important than this, and if it isn't very good, then again you can adjust it. Higher number increases, lowers it. So it's pretty simple. Engine throttle mix, I would leave that as it is, because that's when the power starts to blend in. Here you can, I believe you can just leave it as it is. I mean, this one's a slightly newer, updated one. Here is a lower. It depends on the engine as well, because we've used the Brabham engine. It might be worth updating it. Actually no, we'll leave it, but I don't think it'll sound that good, and if it doesn't I'll go back and put this in. All these tells when the power to come in and what RPM. Pretty simple. It does explain here. So it's when each RPM, when it gets to a stage, when does the next sound come in and overlap or take over. Kind of complex, I guess, when looking at it, and it is a bit fiddly, but again, most cars should be okay. As you can see, this car doesn't have any tiny sample mix apparently. Yeah, I guess if it doesn't have it, we can leave it out, and we don't have one originally. Not a disadvantage. Brakes here. These are our own brakes we'll have to use. So go back up all the way, unfortunately. There we go. Or you could have just taken it from the folder, I guess, but didn't think of that. Paste, and then do that. Let's hope it's not too dominating the noise. Okay. Get rid of the gap, don't really need it there. And then the last one, it should be exactly the same. As you can see, it is exactly the same. So do that, and there we go. That was it. That's all you need to do for the file. But hang on, you need to go back to your sounds, which if you did what I did and took it all out on the ones for sure, basically now you're just gonna have to find each one of these. You can do basically just grab them all and throw them into one. Does make your package a little heavier, more size obviously, or you can just go one by one and check. As you can see on mine, the outside and inside have the same normally, and I'm guessing all the Ferrari ones in here will be used to start with, so I'm just going to take all the Ferrari ones make a new folder. I haven't got rFactor 2 sounds. There we go. Gonna paste. Right, that's all the Ferrari ones done. So if I'm gonna leave it open. I've got the IC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Oh, it is different. Sorry, there's a P. So it is different. A P 1, 2, 5. Yep. And then the O 1, 2. Yep. And then all the way to 5. Yep. Got the starter there. In starter there. That's it. So we've got all the there. Here's the issue. You've got stuff like this. If you wanted to do before, you should check where it is. Which was silly of me, I guess, but if you know where the file, if you've done what we did first time and put it all into a folder of all the sounds, then you can just go here and then go search, can't you? You can go like that, and it'll be like, yep, it's there. So it's like, alright, open file location, there it is. I'm going to take that one, and then I need the IBF. 1, 2, and there isn't a 3. No joy. If you get an issue like that, just copy that so far and just take out the sounds. So IBF3. No, doesn't exist. That's not an issue, it's a backfire. For my car, I don't think it's really relevant. ISP11? L, sorry. Open file location, there it is. Normally takes you straight to it. Paste it in here. Yeah, you get the gist of it. So once you've got all of it, it's not too long. If it's laid out like this, then it should be so much helpful, especially if it's in order. Sometimes you get weird ways they've recorded it in terms of the name file, but if it seems like too much work, don't worry, just grab them all and stick it in. It should work even if it's not there, so that is unfortunately an issue. Whereas the texture is missing, it will tell you and won't load properly in game, but for sound, unfortunately, it will drive even without sound. As you've seen with the previous videos, it will just continue. It's good and bad, I guess, but if you're missing an engine noise, it's going to sound wrong. Apart from that, I believe, just a couple more. It's going to be shed, isn't it? So exterior. Do we have it? I don't think that's in there. See, that's just frustrating. Yeah. Shift up. If you're missing stuff, you can take from other cars, I guess, especially shifting up. Or just taking what they've done there and put it there, make sure it says outside. Or just copy the last bit and paste. Unless that's just a mistake. Let's do a quick search, because that file exists but doesn't have the outside bit. Yeah. Okay, I think they made a mistake, so I'm going to rename that. Actually no, I'm going to copy that one. I'm going to go back. Did I already paste it? No. No, I'm going to rename it rather than doing the whole file, that's easier. There we go, you can find it now, and then we need the OBF 1, 2, 3. And it's got 3 there, that's nice. So we'll take it back. Oh no, I've got the IPL. I think I do, but it doesn't matter if I've already done it once. Just gonna overwrite it. Sounds. Paste. Oh, don't do. Yeah, I've had it before. Shortcuts are annoying, you don't need that. What's daisy? There we go. Right. So that's everything so far. Just check. The rest should be from what we've done as secondary or TM. Yeah. This is just the brakes aren't. Oh yeah, there we go. Brakes. So brakes low. It's not hard to find. I think it was in the shed already. There we go. Brakes high there. High in. Low, low. That's it. Beautiful. Back. Here we go. Paste, and that's it. That's everything you need for sound. I'm going to save it. Now you're going to go to Mass 2, new one here. Go to where it is. Sounds, here we go. Just going to add them all. Open. that little icon there, and then we've already, and if you haven't done it, you literally just type in the name here, but I'm copied it, I'm just going to save, here we go. And then because you've changed the physics files, you need to update the main. Gonna go, oh no, that's wrong. Here we go, this one, copy all them, open, save it as a main, then I'm going to pack it all together again, uninstall before you do that, get rid of, open, make sure I have the 4 now. The sounds can go with the vehicle package, you can do it all as one, doesn't need to be 2 separate packages, which is neat. So refresh, alright, let's go to game. Okay, here we go, let's go try this out with sounds now, and obviously I'm going to be very quiet because you can't hear me when this is loud, hopefully. Okay, so we had the starter motor wasn't really working correctly, it was always working. Now I'm just going to copy what ISI I've done with the Brabham, but I'm going to edit it for our car. Now let's just take that and let's replace those with our own. I don't know if this works, if it does, fantastic, we'll give it a shot. I wasn't letting the AI drive when I first started the car, so sometimes that can happen if you hit the AI button too quick. It can just start the starter motor over and over and again, keep looping. That could have been an issue. Look, I didn't left out the equals, didn't I? A silly move. Right, there we go. That could solve the issues. Yeah, everyone makes mistakes, even me. I'm not. Yeah, when people think I'm good at this sort of stuff, I just know how to do the basics. You can see, it didn't have a number, but that could have been causing the issue. So it's always good to go back and check. I'm going to just replace, I didn't have a number 4, so I'm just going to replace that. There you go. Hopefully, if that was the issue, you rectified my mistake. I'm going to check. Just always check. If you have made a mistake, it happens to the best of us, don't worry. Looks okay. Yeah, and we didn't change the RPM and it sounded good, even though the engine was different. We can try. Let's do that. So I'm going to make a copy of it. I'm going to save this one first. Next it. I'm just going to make a copy of the original that we like so far. So this can be the original one that we like, and let's edit this one. It's got all the fixes or changes we've done so far. So let's go down to the RPM bit, here we go, and the engine. So let's just change all of it, because I'm using the Brabham engine currently, not a Ferrari special. So I'm going to go all the way to the bottom there. So just above that, I'm going to get rid of all this. Don't worry, you've got backup before you panic. Hopefully, if you have a copy, it should be okay. Paste. There we go. Alright, save. Exit and exit, don't need that. Gonna repackage it. That's good, the starter's been fixed. it didn't sound right, even with a different engine. So we're just going to go delete the new one. I'm going to keep, and it works fine. We heard before. I mean, the tinny noise was the files itself. So if you don't like it, you can try and find a different. If there's a car with the same engine you know as real life, or based on the same engine, it sounds better in game. You might as well just take it, as long as you get permission, of course. Don't just take this everything and anything, especially if it's someone's created their own mod. If you're keeping it private, yeah. Okay. But yeah, if it sounds tinny, maybe just find another car that has better sounds if possible. It is difficult, I respect that. I can't create sounds. Again, this is basically for someone who's not got the time or doesn't have the ability to do such great skill, but anyone can do this. So we've done the sounds now. Make sure you repackage the main file, because obviously you've still got the old sound file in there. We'll put the new one in. But that is sound done. And now we're going to move on to the cameras and the cockpit. Now, as you can see in game, hopefully from the other clips, you can see it's quite high sitting main cockpit, and the mirrors are really pointing upwards. It's quite bad. But for now, again, get your example car if you want, or you can adjust. But I'm going to take a new iCar, the Brabham, because it is different. And what I'm actually going to do, you can see nose cam is obviously the nose cam. When you hit home or insert, I can't remember which button it is. I think mine's insert currently. It could be different, you could have changed it for the cameras. That's the ones that go on board, so you got the nose cam cockpit and TV cockpit. Those are the three, so you can see here. Now, it's quite different. These field of view is 55, 55, and here 89 and 50. I quite like what ISI do. It's pretty good, and you can move it. Don't worry if you think, oh, it's permanently set. It's not. You've got position offset. As you can see here, it tells you the first one is left and right, the middle one is up and down, and backwards and forwards. Sometimes backwards and forwards is a negative, but sometimes it's a positive for a different camera. You've just got to play around and see what it looks like in game. Sometimes it's a positive, sometimes it's a negative to go forwards. But normally up is always positive, down is always negative, and left is always negative, and right is always positive. But again, if it's different, don't panic. Just, you can go back and adjust. So I'm going to steal what they've done for the nose cam, copy the cockpit one, because it really sits really high. Currently it's not to my liking, and TV cockpit. Yeah, I'm going to take swing cam as well. That's the camera outside, the very first one you get when you can swing around the car, because it's called swing cam because you can rotate around it. The rest are the ones that you can choose to be on board with. They're not bad, but I generally don't use them. But I'm just going to copy all. I mean, really, yeah, if you really want to, just copy it all and get rid of it. This is what I'm going to do. Paste and boom. Hopefully this is better for the clip panes and stuff. Now this might fix the flashing I have in game when the shadows keep disappearing. If not, it's a PC issue, which I know it's not running correctly. But let's take the cockpit information and go to ours. Now, because you changed the position of the camera, it could potentially be different. Most likely is. So what I'm going to do here is eye point is the cockpit eye point view, and camera target is the target for all the other cameras, and because you just changed it, well, I have, that's going to change. TV offset is how it's different. Again, if you changed it, it's best just to copy this. And mirror position, you can see here, this one, it's really weird because it's pointing so upwards. You can see, look, up is positive, down is negative apparently, so that's helpful. Apparently in Ferrari. But because we just copied it, the eye point is the one you want to edit the most. Alright, I'm going to take all this up to there. I think that's right. I'll find out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So paste. There we go. And that's the new one, same as the problem. But if it needs to be higher, I'm going to adjust that, or backwards here. It should be perfectly slap bang in the middle, which is great. It's what you want. Yeah, steering degrees per frame is basically how much does the arm movement from your driver move with the steering wheel. Sometimes it can be off. I've noticed 2.0 for the new ISI 2012 F1 cars, it's 2. Because if you have it at 1, it doesn't match, so you turn and the arms are delayed. So you can increase that to make the arm animation move quicker, or slower if it needs to be slower. But because we don't have a driver yet, I'm going to leave that blank. I have actually borrowed the ISI tyres GMT. I got rid of the ones that came with the car, just because the ISI one is a bit more detailed, and when you use the shader material for the tyre, it looks better when it flexes and wobbles, and my rims were actually bigger than they should have been in real life, so I made them match the wheel tyre, so now the TMGs and the graphical wheel match up, so it should look perfect and make it a lot easier. But yeah, you can see here wheel speed animation. That means how many spinning of the tires do you have. So if I open up the tire for you to see, as you can see here, that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3, and that just tells the game how many times does it go up. So if I go to the material and show you, you can see it's just because you got wet tires. So that you can see it changes from slick ready to wet, so that's why there's another 3 at the end. But basically this each speed, so it's 1, 2, 3, you start off at 0 every time. If I show you here, I haven't got the normal, that's okay. See here, look, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, that's how it goes. But that's what it's telling you. And these are the speeds when it engages, so the RPM of the speed of the car, and it changes at these. You can up to have 6, I believe, of those. And graphical tyre compound, again, it's how many times does it change. So because we only change from slicks to wets, we only say twice. But with more modern cars, you've got the soft, the medium, the hard, and then the inters and the wets. So you're looking at 5. So you go 5, and then you tell it, right, how does it go? And if this is basically going off the TBC, saying this is the first one it's going to match with, this is the second, and if you had 5, you go 2, 3, etc., all the way to 4. And then basically you're saying if the TBC starts off saying you've got a soft tyre, then the medium, then the hard, then the inter, then the wet, you want to make sure if you've done it correctly here, because this one starts off with slicks and goes to wets. If you go slick and then you've got 3 slicks and then inter and then wet, you want your TBC to be the same. If it isn't, you need to adjust these so the tyre compound is matching correctly with the graphics, and it's pretty easy. I've sometimes done it backwards, so I start off with the wet tyres graphically, but it's last in TBC. So all you do is you go 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and that should work. So that is telling you the first one is a soft, but because you've done it last graphically for the slick, load up that one please. It's pretty simple, but because ours is really basic and 1, it should just work. If it doesn't, ISI, pretty confident you don't need it. So that's it. So we're going to save that, and we're going to go try this in game. Okay, here we go, and you can see already we're a lot lower. Too low, I'd say. But as you can see by the mirror at the top, you can see a lot better now, because before it was pointing up like here and it was ridiculous. So if I drive up, you can just see it's not brilliant, is it, these mirrors? You can see it's a bit better, but if I was to be higher, hopefully, yeah, you can see it's pointing backwards. But the main mirror, if you use the virtual ones, look better, but this is a much better. We just need to increase the height and maybe move back a bit, but that's fine. Did I solve the flickering? I might have done, you know. Looks a bit better. So if I go here, and you can go, this is the TV cockpit, yeah, we can go back and higher as well. And here we go. These are all the onboard cameras. It looks fine. Yeah, the flickering's definitely stopped. I think it's to do with the clipping of the cameras. And sometimes a field point of view or whatever. It's definitely been improved, and these cams all fit the onboard. So we don't need to change any of those. It is just the cockpit ones that we need to make higher. The TV cockpit one you change in the cams file. The one here you can change in the cockpit information. So I'll show you that now. Alright, so we saw it's too low. So what we're going to go is open this one, and you can see here it was really quite low. And yeah, it needs to be further back, I think. So this is too far forward, so we'll make it 0. Yeah, let's make it 0. And go for that. 7.0 should move it up quite substantially. I'm going to save that. And then for the cams, I'm going to go here. And this was the one that was TV cockpit. It was too far forward and low. So this one is the up and down. So let's go 1. I think that'll be too much, but we'll do that for purpose. We'll do 1 here as well. Gonna save it and then go to check back in game. Yeah, we can see we're already a lot higher, much closer to the back. You can see the mirrors a bit better. Still very hard to see out of them. I mean, they're pretty bad in general, aren't they? But that looks much better. You can see at least the garages. Don't know if they were ever going to be perfect. And I think I can still move back a bit more. If we go cockpit 1, looks higher for sure. And yeah, look at we're quite right high. I think we need to just double up going backwards. I think it's the same with this one. If we went back a bit further, it would look okay. But it's not looking bad now. You definitely see out the car much better, and it looks more natural. You can just see the wheels. But I think I'm going to go back. So I've gone 5, and I'm going to go 5. Save that. Cams 1, the height looked good. So I'm going to 2, yeah. I'm going to cheeky and put 4. I feel like that'd be too much. 3, there we go. Compromise. So pack it up all again. Here we go. You can see we're a lot higher now. Get rid of that and 4. There we go. You can see probably just about right height, I think. It may be too high. Yeah, maybe too high. Yeah, still got a shadow issue. I think it's my PC more than anything. Don't worry, sound is there. I've just muted it. And there we go. Lost my front wheel. Yep. So there we go. For cockpit. Yeah, we see about the right height now. That looks okay. But yeah, it's just trial and error. I think I'm gonna lower it a bit. It's too much. Didn't need to go that high. I think we're right. Yeah, quite close to the back. You press the U button if you're wondering to change the so you can move around freely. Yeah, I think 2, maybe even 1. Let's go 1. And yeah, that's it for cams. And hopefully that's working for you and get a better cockpit. Don't worry, you can change it in game as well. I just haven't got the buttons signed up, but it's good to get a good baseline, and you can adjust your point of view if you want to. And if you do have any questions of your own, please feel free to ask, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible.